right.
Ale with Keefy Coffee.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Macabre Masters. I am, of course, Pope. And as you, if you're listening on audio, you can't see it, obviously. But if you're on video on YouTube or whatever else, you can see it. I'm hanging out with my lovely, beautiful, awesome co-host. That is, of course, Original Nick and the Pimpstress, the Macabre Pimpstress, Beth. How are y'all doing tonight on this lovely 30th of December?
Super tired, but also pretty hyped to be back, honestly.
It's been a hot minute, so I'm good. There's been a lot of craziness in the last few months. I'm really sad tonight about Barbara Walters, if I'm being honest. Like, that kind of really bummed me out. Rest in peace to one of the most legendary women to have ever lived.
Rest in peace, Barbara Walters. I don't know much of your work, but I knew the name, and I knew the face. Apparently, she was like a rebel in her field. Like, she was like gangster, because it's even they depicted in Stranger Things, like how females get treated a lot of times in the media. So Barbara Walters, she's like Oprah, though. She's a boss bitch. You know what I mean? So she got it taken care of. So rest in peace to her. So guys, today is going to be fun. We're going to talk about a few different things. The first one is we're just going to kind of look back over the last year. The second thing, Spotify does a rewind type feature or whatever. Fuck Spotify. We're just going to do what we want to do. Then the second thing is that we're going to talk about next year and kind of what we're thinking about. Tell all our deepest, darkest fantasies about next year. And then from there, we'll wrap this up and we'll be back the next time we're back. I make no promises. I have learned better to make promises. There's actually when I was doing the Quiclet thing a lot, and guys, by the way, the reason I stopped doing the Quiclet is because it's scripted. It was boring me to death. I sound better when I'm scripted, but it's so fucking boring. Yeah. I like being unhinged and just like that kind of thing. So that's why you guys haven't seen them. But in every single one of them, I write in the script, okay, guys, we'll be back next month with this. We'll be back next month. And then the King Paimon fucks up our recording, and then we can't get on another one for another month. So that's okay. We're going to be looking better going into 2023. No big deal there. So, guys, what I want to ask you first is just real simple. Just how do you think the year went? Did you have a good time? What was your favorite episode that you recorded of Macabre Masters? What are you most proud of? What are you least proud of? What's up? What happened?
Who wants to go first on that one?
You know what? I have a favorite, honestly. The glistening takes the cake for me. It was our entrance into Macabre Masters as it is after I joined the show. It was really like the most profound moment for me in the Macabre Masters beginnings era for me. And I feel like we did a really good job on that episode. I'd also like to say I was particularly proud of our Jurassic Park episode. I thought we did really great there. We made a lot of good content. The Purge episode was fucking great. Midsommar was fucking great. So I can't think of any that I really was bummed out about, except for when we tried to do the videos with the watch-alongs. So not only did we have struggles with YouTube and licensing and all that, but we kind of didn't really talk about anything we were actually watching. Most of the time, it was just us bullshitting with videos in the background. So I don't know. I think maybe we can definitely improve on some things, which we've talked about. There's going to be some cool new ideas getting tossed around for video and stuff like that in the future. So things to look forward to.
All right. And Nick?
I think I also have to say The Shining was one of our best ones. It was a great switch, a great addition, having the Pimpstress join. I think I'm most disappointed about technology.
Motherfucker.
I spent $1,300 on a laptop and I expect it to work, and then it doesn't work. So now I guess I'm spending money. I don't know. My wife got me a fantastic new iPad, the Pro M2. So that was she was like, so do you really want another mini PC to record through your other laptop, and then you want a different webcam? She's like, well, I'm just gonna get you the iPad. It's changed Simple. Everything already so far. Yeah, that's a great stepping stone for Macabre Masters as a media company. I sound like the boring one of the group, but I think it's gonna be really fantastic. I'm gonna take over thumbnails because I can draw on this bitch now. going to try my best to edit some videos as well. Get out there. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a fun time. Besides technology, I don't think there's anything I'm really disappointed about. I think we did a pretty good job with what we were handed. I don't think there's been an episode where we've really dropped the ball. I know before we've had a few episodes where it didn't feel like I personally put my whole self into it. I feel like I kind of
Local 58.
what's
Or 52 or whatever.
Local 58.
Local whatever.
Bless
Yeah, I know
you.
Local 58. I love Local 58. I know it was like my suggestion, but we just kept rambling.
That episode was terrible. It was horrible. We had nothing to say. And you know what the funny thing is I watched the Spotify Rewind, and that's our most popular episode. 999% of people that have listened to us listen to Local 58.
I'm telling you, the fandom is fantastic. I love them. But, I mean, I love Local 58. It's just, there wasn't too much talking, and I think we just kept going on too long. But was that this year?
We
was
should have cut that shit
year?
in half.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It was a while back. Okay, so as far as my actually proudest episode that we've done, Midsummer. And the reason is because Midsummer, we actually got really deep into the psychology of it and the idea. Put it this way, I'm so proud of it that my mom and I were talking yesterday, and I brought it up with her because of talking about the philosophy behind you are led to believe that the woman is right in the decisions she makes by the end of it. But upon reflection outside of the movie, it's not as quite as morally easy to tell. And there's a lot of gray area in there. And I thought we really dug into that really well. As far as stuff that like bums me out, the only thing is we haven't done Hellraiser yet. And that kills me. And I watched Hellraiser 3. I did it for you guys, okay? You know how like some fucking crazy stalker motherfuckers, they like cut their ears off like Van Gogh?
Yeah.
Or they like cut fingers off or something like that, or just like they like kill somebody's dog. I don't know what stalkers do. I've never stalked people.
Ow!
I don't know.
I'm just guessing here.
Escalated really quickly.
I want to wear your skin.
Yeah, right? Something like that. Maybe they
Do I
want to wear
need
their
to
skin.
hide my dog?
No, what? I love dogs. Dogs are the greatest. And so my point here, look, I don't stalk people, okay? I'm a normal person who just, somebody tells me no, then that means no, and I go on with my life. But point being, all those stalkers that are out there killing dogs, cutting off ears and fingers, and like fucking doing whatever stalkers do, all they really need to do to prove their love is watch Hellraiser 3. Okay? That's all they got to do. You say to a woman or a man, whatever you're into, you say, hey, I watched Hellraiser 3 for you. They're going to be like, all the way to the end with the CD throwing Cenobite? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. It was totally stupid. Servo motors were going off the whole time. And they're going to be like, okay, I'm leaving my husband or wife, and I'm getting with you. That is dedication. Okay? You have proven you're gangster, and now we are going to have babies that are gangsters. Unless we're a same-sex couple, in which case we're going to adopt babies that are gangsters. Okay? Or maybe there's ways. I think there are ways with, like, in vitro. Anyway, I wasn't trying to make a controversial statement. I was trying to be inclusive, and then it ended up sounding stupid. Work with me, guys, okay? I'm an idiot. Anyway, point being, I want to do Hellraiser. So I read the entire comic series, and I've watched all the way up until movie 3, and I'm ready. I read the books, the novels. I'm so goddamn ready to talk about Pinhead.
Really dedicated.
Yeah, I'm like,
I also love Hellraiser. Like I love Clive Barker. I love the world that he built. I found out really interesting information about it. Like, for example, a lot of his inspiration for Hellraiser came from when he was a male prostitute, for example. And so that's why a lot of his stuff is like super dark and sex and darkness are kind of intertwined. It's from that life that he lived before he became the world famous artist that he is today. So
hashtag can relate.
Darkness. Right. So darkness and sex. My two favorite things next to
I'm just
dinosaurs. See, that's the problem with Pope, man. That's the problem. I'm
Let's
like,
just put this mental image of like little Pope with like dinosaurs and like BDSM gear, like all playing
right?
action
They
figures.
got gimp masks and shit. Yeah. Nah, that's the paradox. That's the paradox.
You and
like,
Tatiana dress up as dinosaurs, don't you?
we never have, but I will tell you that Tatiana, she did tell me one day, like we were just talking, and she's like, Devin, if you ever want me to put on one of those dinosaur things, and I'm like, hold that thought. Like,
We're gonna
hold
save
that
that
thought.
for our 20th anniversary. Just put it back burner.
Wait, those things are like $100 each, and we don't have a whole lot of money right now. But one day when we get into it good, like and subscribe, press the bell icon, and leave a 5-star review.
You know what my problem is
YouTube
that
comment.
I know you would dress up as a Dilophosaurus. Like, I know it.
Dude, so one of the Halloween costumes I really want to do with Tatiana, I haven't had the chance yet, but I want to, is in 1993 when Jurassic Park came out, they came out with a Dilophosaurus mask and claws, and you can still find them on eBay. They're about $100 a piece. And so I wanted her to dress up as the Dilophosaurus and wear like green clothes and stuff. And then I was going to be Nedry with the rain jacket because I'm fat, so it works, right? So like, I'm just saying, man.
This is what
I want it
places.
so bad. Put some mud on my face so it looks like the shit that the Dilophosaurus
Nice
put on.
Hawaiian t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. See, nobody cares.
Getting crazy
right?
with
Exactly.
the Barbasol.
Dotson, see, that's the thing is I would carry around a Barbasol.
Oh my god.
Be fucking sick. Be sick. I'm just saying.
And that's
like
just a glimpse of what you'll get in Macabre After Dark.
Yeah. Patreon.com.
See, because I said Halloween costume, what I meant was sex costume. So Tatiana, of course, is an artist. And one time she asked me, she's like, hey, Devin, I just want to draw something. Do you want me to draw something for you? That's the cool thing. You guys ask for something, you have to pay for it, but I get it for free. This also applies to sex. No, I'm kidding.
I'd probably show her my boobs, and she would probably give it to me. Don't say that.
No questions asked. No questions asked. I'm resigned to the corner in that situation, I think. Okay. With that said, she said, do you have any ideas? And I said, yeah. Can you do a Dilophosaurus head? And it says, good girl spit. And she did it. It's somewhere in the archive. She drew it for me. It was beautiful. We were going to release it as a shirt.
Or some underwear. Yeah, I want that on a pair of like boxer briefs on the butt.
Oh my god, I love it. It's so fucking cool. I actually got a Dilophosaurus also for Christmas. I got he was like this big, and he's like, and I'm like, dude, this is so cool. Anyway, okay, so next question. I'm interviewing you guys, I guess. So here's the next question. What episodes do you know? Obviously, guys, everybody out there in listener land, you should know that I'm asking this on the spot. There's no preparation. So, if they take a second or they're not exactly sure, then don't blame them. It's me. It's not you. Okay. With that said, Beth, starting with you, are there any episodes that you actually would like to do in 2023? Anything that we missed or anything new that came up that you think would be really cool to get into?
I mean, there was a lot of good stuff that came out this year. And a lot of stuff that came out like on streaming networks that didn't reach the theater that I thought was really cool. I am still, you want to know what my biggest disappointment, and this again goes back to what Nick was saying about Mechanical Failure, but I really still want to put Brightburn out there. Like, that was such a good episode, and we went over some really good psychological topics and some really good comic book topics. So, like, I would definitely like to consider maybe next summer doing Brightburn again. Like, I thought we did a good job, and I thought that we had some good content for that.
What happened to the Brightburn episode again?
Mechanical Failure. It didn't record.
Oh, lame. I remember recording that too.
I do too.
It was great.
It was good.
Damn
and then
it.
when you went back to go check it, you didn't have the recording. And that was when we had already switched over from everybody recording on their own end on Audacity to
Right.
And then you lost the
I remember.
recording. Yeah, that was
We were
really
doing a
lame.
screen
and I was
recording and
really
it
bummed
didn't
about that. So, but I would like to maybe go do Brightburn again. You know, I feel like we touched on a lot of the topics that we really wanted to, but, you know, we wanted to get away from movies. Doing the tarot readings is something that I really would like to do actually soon, you know, kind of do a New Year's tarot reading sort of thing, maybe next week when Nick has more time off. I thought that would be really cool, episode that Pope had been begging for months to do a divination episode.
Oh,
and that's one of the ones that we kind of skipped over. So I think we should do that one soon, like to kind of guide us into the new year with what Macabre Masters should be focusing on.
Sounds good to me. Obviously, because I've been rallying for that one for a while. And then I can do I Ching readings too. And so that's good. And Nick can do whatever he wants.
Whatever, I don't know.
If somebody in Listenerland wants to Patreon some loose leaf tea leaves, I got some tea leaf reading
I have
stuff.
loose leaf tea. I could do tea reading.
All right, there we go. We're going to get tea readings up in that sucker.
Charlotte,
and it's all going to have conflicting information, and we're going to act like Christians and just cherry pick the information we want. Okay, so wait. Nick, I'm sorry. That was not meant as a jab against you. My bad. That was. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot. Okay? Work with me.
You can say Republicans, too. It doesn't have to be Christians.
Okay, that's true. People in politics, too. I definitely don't want to be controversial
politicians.
here. Yeah, politicians.
CNN
so with
News, you know.
We're going to get demonetized by all the news networks.
Hopefully.
Fox News is going to bust on my door, followed by CNN.
Only famous people have real haters. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is that if Tucker Carlson ever sees them, him and Joe Rogan can both show up at my doorstep, and I will bitch slap both of y'all. I will give you the best backhand you've ever gotten in your life. Even your wife can't match it. Okay?
I just saw you and Joe Rogan all celebrity deathmatch claymation style, like going at it with Tatiana as the Dilophosaurus, as the like card girl going around the ring in some heels. That was so great in my head.
I tag team her in and she spit him in the face. Joe Rogan's like, "Oh yeah, I like that." Hey, nothing against people like getting that stuff in their face. That's all good. Like, listen, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to look. I have one commandment in Pope Land, and it is don't yuck other people's yums. Okay, that is it. So, yes, I hereby challenge.
Their hair. That's the rule.
That is a good rule. I hereby challenge Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson to a celebrity death match. And if you think I am not a celebrity, then doing this death match will make me a celebrity. So help the boy out, right? Okay. Nick, what about you, man?
I'm not sure. I think I liked the idea of for people who don't know, I tried to do a folklore from across the United States. I had a lot of fun researching it, but when it was just like Pope was saying about his, did you say it on here? Or was it before we recorded? Where you tried to do your your solo episodes, and they're scripted and it wasn't as fun. And I feel like I recorded one episode and I was just having such a hard time recording them. And my neighbors got these stupid dogs. I love my own creatures, but like neighbors' creatures who don't stop barking at any slight noise. I'm like, all right, come on. I'm trying to do something here, but they don't know.
So you're saying your neighbors need to get a stalker is what you're saying.
Oh my god,
that was fucking dark. So
it was really hard to record. I don't know. I just rambled through the whole thing and kept messing up. So I don't know. I would like to do. I think we did. I wasn't in that one where it was like cryptids, but urban legends. Maybe we could like do a retouch on that. Maybe we don't go through the whole United States. I don't think we have time for that. Maybe like more cryptids, more stuff like that, more folklore. Stuff like that. I don't think we should stick to just movies. As much as I like doing movies, it's a pretty easy one to down. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours of my time, and then recording it. I think it's a challenge to do other stuff, and I would like to challenge myself to do more interesting things. Because, I mean, I could watch a movie all day long, but I think doing the research and stuff would challenge me, and I like that.
It's also helpful, like, take The Omen, right? The Omen is really helpful if you watch the movie and you review it afterwards with context on what's actually in Revelations. like I know that you have, and so like that's a really helpful thing to have. It's why I actually myself, like, not saying what anybody else should do, but me myself, I read about a new thing that I'm interested in or curious about every single day, and that's why, because you can connect it in and kind of make it make sense. So then The Omen isn't just an interesting movie, but it's also an interesting reflection of popular culture as it comes to the apocalypse, right? So, and you can even do it with other stuff. I mean, Norse mythology and God of War. What's the differences between Ragnarok? If you know Norse mythology, for example, when Loki meets that girl halfway through Ragnarok, you know that that's destined to be his wife, and they're going to have kids that are considered monsters, right? You know the plot. You know the plot before it happens because of that, right? So it's good to know that stuff. But not everybody has time to sit around reading fucking books all day. So,
and that's why this episode is sponsored by
issue.
Audible.
This episode is sponsored by Audible.
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I would listen. I since I've been shouting out, well, I was going to say celebrities, and then I remembered I was talking about Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. Since I've been shouting out known media personalities the entire time, I just want to say, Jeff Bezos, listen, bro, if you got curiosities that you're curious about but you're ashamed of, call me. Give me an Audible sponsorship. I'll let you try anything you want, just once. Okay. Any second item. Occurrence is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you $1 million or $2 million. Okay, but I'll let you go once for an Audible sponsorship. No. So as far as stuff that I want to touch on, I want to do divination. I want to do Hellraiser. There is a lot of. I think that some of the best horror work and the best scary work is actually Japanese, and I'd like to go into Japanese horror because it's got an entirely different vibe. Obviously, we touched on it with The Ring.
We did Grudge as well.
And The Grudge as well. But there is so much Japanese horror that is it's just jarringly scary. And American horror these days doesn't really tend to really be... I mean, for me, it's Hereditary. But what's the last movie that like really fucking just ripped your face off with how much it scared you?
Yeah.
Because Hereditary is the only one I can think of in the modern day. Right?
Yeah.
For me. You know? And so, but Japanese horror, it's visceral in a different way. And I think they really tapped into like what really scares people in that culture. And like you got the white-faced geisha girl or whatever. Well, I think geisha girls might be Chinese, but you got the white-faced like black teeth, because back in the day, like their women had black teeth. It was a fashion thing. And you got them crawling up the walls and shit. That's a creepy, dude. I'm sorry. Like, that is weird. They got it all under control. They're fucking awesome. Listen, everybody out there, Japanese descent, like I love Bushido. I love Japanese horror. And I like anime. I don't love it, but I like it. Some anime is really good. Some anime is also garbage. Like My Hero Academia. Absolute fucking garbage. Terrible show.
Oh, Morgan's gonna fight you? That's like her favorite.
I'm sorry, Morgan.
I don't watch anime, so I can't speak on it.
Here's the thing about being a kid. Kids have shitty taste. But
Facts.
It's facts. Now listen, when I was a kid, I liked Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, right? I went, and also, by the way, rest in peace, Jason Frank, who recently died. He was the Green Ranger and later the White Ranger. He unfortunately committed suicide a few weeks ago.
Is that how he died? That's sad. Now I feel bad about the picture I'm about to show you.
Oh.
Yeah, he unfortunately that happened. So, but I went back and watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as an adult, and it's flat out garbage.
Oh, dang! I was about to start Power Rangers.
Garbage. It is garbage. Now, here's the thing: is the monster fight sections are really good, and the reason is because they're taken from a Japanese show called Super Sentai something. Super Sentai Zyurangers is what it's called.
Oh no, you can't see it. I'm going to send this to you because now that you mentioned it, I meant to send it to you a while ago.
Cool, but So, but the American, like the part with like the American kids, like doing like the American kids, I'm using bunny ears for our audio listeners. All right. They're like they have like teenage problems, like they're getting bullied by like Bulk and Skull and shit. Lame, weak, terrible. Ivan Ooze, worst villain in history. Okay? They suck. But I loved it as a kid. I adored it as a kid. I wanted to be the Blue Ranger as a kid. Right? He was a
Oh, you would have
dork
been a
that wore
cool
glasses,
Billy.
and so was I. Huh?
You would have been a great Billy.
I think so. I think I still today would be a great Billy. But
I had his
yeah,
action
so
figure. Like, I was
I
on the
did.
road with my grandparents on a road trip when the Mike Morphin Power Ranger like toys were at McDonald's from the original show, and like I had the pink one and the yellow one and the blue one. Those were my favorite toys for like ever.
The
Thanks.
ones I
I just had
had
to share that childhood nostalgia.
there you go, right there. Hey, what's you guys' favorite toy that you got from a McDonald's or Burger King Happy Meal growing up?
Ooh.
I'm gonna be honest. My aunt and uncle used to be franchisees, so I kind of they just had a bunch of toys all over the place. I never really got them from the actual kids meal because we didn't go to McDonald's growing up. So I don't even remember any of the toys because I don't know. I didn't eat at McDonald's.
Oh, okay. You're too cool for that. All right.
No,
cool.
we're so poor we just ate at home.
My aunt worked at Burger King, so it's not McDonald's. My favorite McDonald's toys, I was always really happy when the Barbies came out every year. So, but like, I didn't get a lot of McDonald's toys, but I think my favorite like Happy Meal or kids meal toy that I ever got is one year for Christmas, my aunt gave me all of the 14 karat gold plastic cased Pokemon cards that Burger King was giving out. And I still have that whole collection somewhere.
Shit. My parents have been saying
so they're not worth anything, but like, you know.
They're so cool. They're so cool piece of history.
So I had the full collection of Disney cups. Those were pretty dope too.
Hell yeah.
I got the goofy ass new ones. The adult Happy Meal that was like $10 each. We got those. They look,
oh Jesus.
They look stupid.
You can sell them at a fat profit, by the way. They're going on eBay for hundreds of dollars.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, I opened it.
Still.
Oh.
Fucking go to eBay and find out after you record this podcast. Okay.
Stop right now.
Thank you.
Right now.
I'm getting paid, bitch. For me, McDonald's, they released a Happy Meal toys that were food items. So it was like a little French fry toy. And I loved it when I was a kid. I loved that French fry toy. I don't know why. I just did. It just really yes, Beth?
No, I was just thinking of like a toy that I got as a little kid from a fast food restaurant. It was Pizza Hut when The Land Before Time came out. I had the full collection of all the Land Before Time Pan puppets. That was probably like, but I was little. Like that's when I was like 3 or 4 or something like that. But those were my favorite. I played with those for years.
We got my favorite from Burger King is actually very predictable. In 1997, The Lost World Jurassic Park came out, and they came out in Burger King with a whole set of watches. 4 different
I remember
Lost
those.
World watches. Well, guess what?
You were the cool
Braylon?
kid if you had those, too.
I did. I had the Raptor one growing up, and I have the Raptor one now,
was the
and I wear
one.
it occasionally. Yeah. But I don't have the full set. And my friend Braylon, for Christmas, decided he was going to take it upon himself to get it for me. So he went on eBay and he grabbed me the full set of Lost World toys from Burger King. It hasn't come in yet.
Oh,
but,
that's dope.
I'm stoked. I'm really stoked to have the full collection.
Shout out to Braylon. Good looking out, homie.
Yeah, what up, Braylon? So that's cool. But I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you kind of one last question, and then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We didn't want this to be a long thing. So what is the movie or art piece or whatever else that scared you the most this year? Like what really tore you up? And it might have been just a thing like that was, it doesn't have to be something that psychologically scarred you, right? Just something that kind of bothered you, disturbed you a little bit this year. That's not reality, because there's way too much shit
Yeah.
happening in reality. I'm talking about fiction here.
I'm like, I instantly went to the embalming lab. Like, I had to like redirect my head real quick. I don't know.
I think, I mean, part of the reason we didn't record for a very long time, and it may be a little bit, I don't think it's too personal, but the most macabre thing that started off this whole thing that tore me up was there was a lot of death in my family this year, like a ton, and a lot more stuff happening to where people are almost about to go. First and foremost, our cat Twinkle passed away tragically, like out of nowhere. We thought, oh, she's just a little silly girl. She got something in her stomach. Then it turned into, well, now she can't go to potty. And then her organs shut down, and she wasn't going to make it to the morning. And then right after that, as we're mourning Twinkle, Sarah's grandmother passed away. And it wasn't, we could see that one coming, but it was also very sad and tragic. And then right after that, my grandpa has dementia, and it's getting worse. And then as he's getting worse, my grandma has a massive blood pressure spike, and her doctor said, your heart is extremely enlarged, and that means she probably doesn't have much left. And I'm like, how much more can I take, honestly? I think just the reality of life and death is just that's the most macabre thing that's happened to me this year. Is like, I think it just all came at once, and I think that was the most macabre thing, is like, death doesn't really care, like, your schedule. Death and illness don't care about your schedule. They don't care. It doesn't care that I got plans. It doesn't care that Macabre Masters is trying to record. Death is there, and he's gonna ruin your projects. And it's kind of humbling. It's a reality that no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, no matter if you're Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates, or some homeless guy on the side of the street, or a really poor person, we all collectively will pass away, and that is an eventuality and a reality that we all share, and it's humbling to me. I know that's pretty dark, but it is true, and it's a reality. No matter your faith, no matter your religion, no matter anything, at the end of the day, we all do pass away, and it is something that has hit me very hard recently.
No, I get
Way
that.
to bring it down.
I can agree with that. No, not
Like
at
bringing
all.
the
Like,
realness.
that's why I went into the field of work that I'm going into, is because death is that equalizer, that it doesn't really matter what you did in life, like, we're all going to die, so I can definitely dig that after my embalming labs and actually getting to experience death care hands-on for a little bit this year. That's really heavy, but it is a reality, and I can definitely relate to that. I think for the show, I think the heaviest thing that I did this last year was when I did The Purge, and I watched all of the Purge movies and the whole series. That was a lot, because there's just so much psychologically that is happening in our society, and the social construct that we all take part in, and the social contracts that we all take part in, and looking at how, from where we grew up when we were little, like in the 90s and stuff, at least for Pope and I, it's a very different world, technologically speaking and socially speaking, and how people interact with each other. And I think The Purge was really very kind of emotionally introspective on how I feel about my role in society and what kind of person I would be in that type of circumstance. That was really, really heavy for me this year as far as the stuff we recorded. And then, like, there were some things that were just kind of overwhelming in life happening through the last few months in general for all of us, that have made sort of this, as we go into the winter season, very introspective, and who I want future me to be, and what does that look like in regards to what kind of commitment am I going to be able to make to my career, and to the changes that have happened in my family and stuff like that in the last few months. That kind of went along with some of the stuff that we did research this year for recordings and things like that. I think that it's really cool, honestly, that joining the podcast with you guys was really that. It was very powerful in my life, being able to kind of go along the last year's ride with you guys. Like, I think we all got together and finally started recording around like May, April, maybe somewhere in there. So we've been around with each other for a lot now. And there was a lot of points where what we were recording about or what we were talking about was kind of directly or indirectly related to stuff that was going on in our lives at the time too. And I think I'm the most proud of and the most excited about how close we've gotten as a cast together. We don't just record and this isn't the only time we talk. Like, we have actual friendships with one another, and a lot of ideas to help build and make everything better. And we have a lot to be proud of. I think it is the biggest thing that I want to take away from this last year is I never thought I would be in a podcast. Pope had been trying to get me to do it for a year by the time we started talking about it. And then we put the podcast we had talked about on the shelf, and he was like, hey, well, do you want to maybe come check out Macabre Masters with us? And I was dubious at first. I didn't think it was going to be something that I would really fall in love with. And honestly, I have. And I'm really honored to be working with you guys and for the future of everything that we've kind of set up a foundation for so far.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick's blushing.
No,
That's so cute.
Pope was like, not the real world. I was like, what do we do in the, oh, wait.
Hey. I don't control you guys. I don't own you guys. Say what you want. The most macabre thing that happened to me this year, because there's no way I can follow that up, is I looked into the mirror and saw gray in my beard for the first time. So there you go. All right, so we're going to close this out. But before we do it, guys, last episode of the year, give your shout-outs. Who are your shout-outs for 2022?
I think first and foremost is the listeners. Absolutely a big shout out to anyone who's going to do any episode for any length of time. Whether you clicked on it and left, which I don't like you now, but whether you clicked on it and left or listened to the whole thing.
We're not friends.
And listen to 2 or 3 in a row. Next is you two, obviously. I mean, we've been on a wild ride through real life and in the podcast space. And then thirdly, but most importantly to me, is my wife, who got me this lovely iPad and has been here supporting me. And I guess shout out to the family who's gotten me audio equipment without asking what it's for and just going like, here you go, you wanted headphones, there you go.
I hope that they do listen and they're like, hey, you guys should tone it down a little bit. Because that's what always happens when my parents check out some of my stuff in my family. They're like, what's up with you? And it's like, listen, hey, y'all raised me. I don't fucking listen. I hold no accountability for any of this.
You know what you did.
This is your fault, okay? You made me. I'm like Lemon Grab, right? From
Adventure Time.
You know, he's like, you made me like this. That's me. All right, Beth, what's your shout outs, girl?
Shout out to my family, of course. We've been through a lot of crazy stuff this year. And to anybody that's still listening to us talk shit, like, we appreciate you very much. We hope to bring you more shit talking and witty banter in the very near future. A big shout out to you guys. I'm a different person for knowing you, and I really appreciate your existence in my life. I am better for knowing you and for having joined this podcast with you guys. And I'm really thankful that you guys brought me on. It's been an amazing thing so far, and it really is just a great morale boost. It's great for the mental health to sit and bullshit with you guys, no matter what we're talking about, whether it's bad synopses of movies or it's, you know, really in-depth religious philosophical conversations. You know, it's been fun, and it is going to continue to be fun. There's a lot of amazing ideas that we've been tossing around, you know, and you guys, as soon as you guys are closer in vicinity together, you know, I'm going to be the oddball out here over in the mountains while you guys are living that coastal life on the other side of the country. You know, but we have a lot of progress, and I see big things happening for us, and I see the potential for a lot of cool stuff, because there's people that are out there that actually want to hear us talk, and that is just an amazing thing to me.
It's kind of cool when it kind of gets through your head. You're like, oh wait, I'm not just talking air. Like people actually listen to this, and then you're like, why do people listen to this again? Like,
yeah, well, totally,
like,
all the time.
You could be listening to Joe Rogan right now. Actually, wait a second. No, okay, keep listening to us.
Almost
You're
said
right.
you could be listening to Andrew
Stay
Tate.
where you are.
Andrew Tate's in jail. At the time of this recording, I'm sure so that'll happen.
You could be listening to a lot of people. So okay, I'll say this: you could be listening to Stephen Fry, but instead you chose to listen to us. Go listen to Stephen Fry also when you're done with this one. After you've left us a 5-star review, and liked and subscribed and whatever else YouTubers are saying these days. Okay, so as far as my shout outs go, okay, I'm gonna keep it simple. So of course, shout out to you guys. I don't want to try to do one-upsmanships on your heartfelt statements. I'll just say that I feel the same way and ditto. And then of course, little heart. Okay, that looks more like a weird distorted butt, but okay. Hey, is this anything? It's like a.
You throwing signs at me right now? That's like Illuminati love,
right? This is like clown love, right? Like that.
Clown love.
Clown love. So there's that. Shout out to my wife, of course, who actually after I mentioned on a podcast that she doesn't listen to my podcast, she actually went back and listened to Macabre Masters. So shout out to her if she ever dips back into it.
Hi, Tatiana.
Yeah, hi Tatiana. What up, girl? I hope you're looking forward to the new episode coming out whenever it comes out. And then I also want to give a shout out to anybody who's listening. Thank you for listening. We don't do this for monetary stuff. Like we're just sinking money into it. We haven't made shit off of it. So obviously there's some kind of integrity.
Put more money in than getting out.
Olivia says, subscribe to our Patreon so she can get better cat food.
Do it for the pets.
Baphomet's not here, but if he were, he would say we don't have a Patreon yet, but we need to make one.
Oh yeah. Do the iPad.
And then the last shout out I want to give is I want to give a shout out to this year for me has been very difficult for mental health reasons. And I'm very, very lucky to have a support system that has looked out for me, not only a therapist, but also Beth, who has been a never-ending resource as far as that stuff goes. My friend Braylon, who occasionally texts me to check up on my mental health outside of our normal conversations. My wife, who's always there. Just like people who, help me stay sane and help me keep my head on straight. It's hard, man. It's been a hard year for a lot of different reasons. And I just appreciate everybody in my life because I don't waste time on people who suck. So with that said, guys, we will be back as soon as humanly possible. We're hoping to record maybe next week, but no promises. And aside from that, much love. We hope you have the most beautiful and awesome of New Year's and the most beautiful and awesome of 2023s. And we look forward to serving all of your macabre needs and your Rule 34 needs going into the new year. Listen, when are we going to have some Macabre Masters Rule 34? Can somebody get on that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I know that might sound weird. I don't know. Like, listen, guys, I don't know. Okay, just make sure that the drawing of me has the guy liner. Okay, then everything is okay. Then we're all right. All right, we're cool. All right, that's the only way to justify.
All I'm saying is I'm not making a Macabre Mistress or Pimpstress OnlyFans until we get to like 500 subscribers.
There you go.
So if you want to see her OnlyFans, we need 500 subscribers. She didn't say what service, so we're just going to assume all of them. All right, that is cross promotion. All right, cross promotion 101. Okay. So that's great. Actually, I will say that like having Beth come in and having like the feminine touch on this whole thing. Also, Beth, I don't know if you guys know this, but the disclaimer that we put on front of the podcast was actually Beth's idea.
Yeah.
because she's like sensitive to people's needs as far as like their mental health and stuff. She's super into
Yeah,
that.
she's like nice or whatever.
And I'm selling you
cares
out.
about
I'm selling you out.
What are you guys saying
She
about
cares or
me?
whatever.
No,
Slander.
like that's nice. That's a good thing. That's a compliment.
Not my black little heart is cold as ice. Okay, I don't like
Okay,
anybody.
If that's the public persona you want to give off, that's fine. But you're actually one of the warmest people I've ever met, so deal with it. But having her actually bring her touch into this whole thing and like make it more human in a lot of ways, I think has been incredibly beneficial to the podcast. So shout out to, of course, to Beth, and shout out to Nick, who is just Nick is a dear friend. Like, he's great, and I cannot freaking wait. Guys, I called my mom when Nick told me he was moving to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
I called my fucking mom. And I was like, Mom, my podcast co-host is moving to Chattanooga. And she was like, and? I was like, what do you know about anything? He's my friend. We're going to record together in the same room. We're going to go out and hang out.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to go hang out like humans hang out. Can you believe it? In one point, before we started recording here, Nick's like, dude, I know this sick bookstore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need Rule 34. Bookstores are my jam. Okay? Like, I'm just saying. Like,
Yeah,
so
I told everyone
there's a
else.
lot of...
I told everyone I was moving back, and they're like, oh, so now you'll be really close. Now you don't have to drive so far. Yeah. Going back home is going to be crazy.
What we're going to do with Beth, though, is we're going to do something fun with Beth. We're going to do like they did in that South Park episode where you fucking, where they were, they had the little robot with the iPad mounted on it.
Yeah.
And it was just her head.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do with Beth.
Yeah.
This is going to be her
She can
iPad
scoot
head
around-
mounted
she can
with
scoot
us.
around the office.
Hey, listen, if we get to 10,000 subscribers on every channel that we're on, even the obscure ones, Beth will move out to Tennessee. 10,000.
Oh, no.
What? It's
Oh, no.
It's still cold here. You like the cold with your Colorado stuff.
You know what I don't like? Bugs the size of my dog.
Okay, maybe
is
not.
true.
Maybe not.
That is true.
The South ain't for you if you don't like big bugs.
My whole
Oh my
family
God,
is from
the
Florida,
mosquitoes.
North Carolina. Like, I've been to
Mosquitoes,
Florida.
roaches.
I've been to
Mm-mm.
St. Augustine, and like, no, there's no way. There's no effing way. I'll visit.
There's mountains here.
I love you guys.
I'll be living in the mountains.
No, there's fucking
Yeah,
not.
it's the Appalachian.
There are not mountains
It's the
there.
Appalachian.
What's the tallest Appalachian mountain?
It's right. It's actually in Tennessee. It is. Well, I mean, it might be North Carolina, but it's the Smoky Mountains. It's Clingman's Dome, and it's about 3 hours from Chattanooga. It's not that far.
And
The
how
fact
tall
that
is
you
that
knew that
mountain?
off the top of your head is awesome.
I've climbed it. It was pretty cool. I think it's only like. I think it's like 4,000 to 6,000 feet. Actually, let me look.
Oh, that's cute. Denver is at 5,280 feet. I live at almost 10,000
All right,
feet.
it's
Like, we have 14
Listen, guys, when we
6,643.
started doing this episode, I had no idea we were going to get into a geographic dick swinging contest.
I'm sorry.
okay?
I'm from.
Listen,
Your mountains are cute.
I have personally been to the Alps. Personally
All right.
been to the Alps. Okay, there we go. I have seen them in person, been there, been to Switzerland. All right. Listen, Trojan man ain't got shit on me. My dick is swinging. Okay, let's go. All right, mountains are cool.
All right. Okay.
Right. There you go. Nick's delicate ears. I've said
I'm
everything
dead
I've said,
right
but then I
now.
say dick swinging, and Nick's like, oh, nope, I'm checking it out. Fuck this.
I mean, I can't compete.
I do. I see. That's what we should do when we're all multimillionaires. We should all move to Switzerland.
Okay.
And go hang out in the Alps because the Alps are beautiful. It's a great place. I don't know.
So I know we're trying to
was
leave,
there.
but I have a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Of course, I never shut up. Interrupting me is the best policy. What's up?
Well, no, we never talked about our New Year's resolutions.
Oh,
God, we didn't.
I don't have one.
Okay.
I'm already the weight I want to be, so I don't have to lie about that one and break it. I'm at 205. I'm going to keep it that way. What could be less mean? It's so mean at work. Maybe start less revolutions. I don't know. Every time I talk, I start a revolution at work.
The working man.
I don't know. I don't really.
Okay, my New Year's resolution is to lie, cheat, and steal.
Okay.
And of course, that's lie with my beautiful, lovely wife, cheat, death, and steal hearts.
This guy. Is that a Family Guy reference?
I hope so. I fucking hope. No, it's like an old Viking or saying or something like that. Is like an old toast or something like that they used to do back in the day. I think they had a better term for lie, but that's the first one I could come up with. It wasn't actually just fucking lying. I lie to you guys every day, though. I lie to the listener every single time we get on here because I act like I actually have a personality. So it's all fake.
No.
I got the personality of Chris Pratt. Okay, like if you hang out with me at my house, I might as well be a cardboard cutout. All right. You walk up, you're like, "Hey, Pope, what's going on today?" And I look up from my 1930s Weird Tales magazine book, and I'm like, "I'm reading."
And slowly pets his velociraptor.
He removes his pince nez glasses. Pince nez.
Yeah, the Ponce, right?
Yeah, the little Morpheus glasses.
Ponce, yeah. I removed my monocle also. I have one under the Ponce. How does that? Why do people even have monocles? How does that even work? When you're looking at something, you're just like,
dude, I've been trying to figure that shit out since I was a kid. Okay,
ever since Cinderella.
The Monopoly man, Mr. Peanut. How the fuck does Mr. Peanut hold his monocle in place?
Monopoly Man does not have a monocle.
That's some Mandela effect shit. He sure the fuck used to, bro.
It is definitely Mandela effect stuff because he doesn't. I blame Ace Ventura actually, because in Ace Ventura, when the guy comes down with the monocle on, he says, "Hey, look, it's the Monopoly Man." But he didn't have a monocle. He's never had a monocle.
Your mom has a monocle.
Moneybags, not a monocle user. He should be, but he's not. He's not rich enough.
You know, maybe it's because of Scrooge McDuck, and we just convinced ourselves that like Scrooge McDuck and the Monopoly Man were the same person.
They're in cahoots. Somebody call QAnon.
I love that word.
You know,
so
my favorite...
I think. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, a word I heard recently that I really like. Copacetic. Copacetic is such a good word. All right. Copacetic, of course, meaning good or awesome or working together really well. The Macabre Masters crew, our work together is real copacetic. It's just a really long ass, smart ass way of saying good. It's like facetious for sarcasm. I'm being facetious. Even these days, even using the term facetious is facetious. Oh my gosh. Because nobody knows what the fuck it means.
So I've had that problem my whole life, like, because I've always had a good vocabulary, where I didn't realize that having a good vocabulary just innately made you pretentious to everybody else. Because I didn't realize that, like, other people weren't taught words, you know, like, or, like, didn't read the dictionary for fun when they were kids like I did.
Absolutely not.
So, like, I get that. Because, like, dude, I used to practice my cursive, writing the dictionary for fun. But I was an only child, right? Like, I had nothing better to fucking do. So, like, I found shit to keep myself entertained. Fucking, but, like, those are some, like, $1 million words, man. Facetious is one of my favorites.
Oh, my favorite $1 million word is resplendent. I love that word. Yeah.
That's a good one. I like.
Don't ask me anymore.
Bemused is funny.
I'm trying to think about, you busted out a word on me a few months ago, Hope, and I was like, whoa, that was a good one. I can't even remember what it was now. It started with a D. I remember that much, but I don't remember what the word was. But this is one of the things I love about you guys, is that there's challenging. Like, I actually feel like I had to go look up the fucking word. Do you know the last time I had to look up a word was? Like,
you challenge yourself not to beat us. It's just the patience.
So I think my New Year's resolution is to commit to having a more defined schedule in my life, which is like pretty much my resolution every year. But to do better in school before my boards this next summer, and to be able to commit to spending more time, mindful time with my family, and not just kind of hanging out, watching TV or doing whatever, but to also commit to having a certain set amount of time every week to hanging out with you guys and recording and actually like pushing through even the bad days where I don't feel good or whatever. Just on my end, like to kind of take some accountability and responsibility, because I love recording with you guys, and I really hate that we haven't for the last couple of months. Like I know we've all kind of had that itch or whatnot. But I would think that that's probably my New Year's resolution, is to actually commit to spending more time with you guys on a more scheduled basis. Where we actually have an allotted time out, whether it's every week or every other week or whatever, where we actually have more of a solid schedule to work with each other.
It's pretty good. It's a good one.
That's a real good one. I like it.
Now we're gonna break
very copacetic. Very copacetic. I find the whole idea resplendent.
Very colorful.
And I promise I'm not being facetious. All right. All right. So I promised the end of this podcast 30 minutes ago, but that's how it goes when you finally get some time to record. So, ladies and gentlemen, from
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. And I'm not going to speak for those guys. One of them might want you to have a bad New Year. All right? I'm just saying. I don't fucking know.
I want your New Year's to be as good as you can possibly make it. I mean, I don't wish like the super awesome best, because then if you're not having the best, then it's like, wow, he wished me the best and it didn't happen. So I wish for it to be as good as it can possibly be for your specific scenario. That's mean. That's really mean.
Well, no, I think it's kind
life.
It's built on a really bad assumption, which is if you wish somebody a happy new year for some reason, they're supposed to have one.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're gonna come back to original Nick, like, Nick, I had a shitty year. And it's just
what the fuck?
Sorry, bro. I hope your next year's better. They're like, no, don't say that.
Don't wish that on me. Stop it.
Break a leg.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Like, what the fuck, man? It's just good wishes. This is good vibes. All right, that's all it is. So listen, Macabre Masters. Macabre Masters assumes no liability whatsoever for how your next year goes.
Or for how this year went, for that matter.
Exactly. By listening to this podcast, you therefore release us from any liability whatsoever from your life situation and indemnify us forever and always on any situations that might have something to do with us that has nothing, absolutely 100% nothing to do with us. We have no lawyers. I've never even talked to a lawyer, but I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're waiting. They're going to be chasing this ambulance soon enough. Trust me. You know, all
25 of our listeners are like, guys. One of them has to be a lawyer, right?
Probably.
Hopefully.
Be the podcast
if
lawyer.
You're a listener, put it with your 5-star review in the comments.
We'll hire you. $10 $10 an episode.
There's some people that I'd like to get on the podcast, but they're not always directly. Legal Eagle is one of them. I want to see if I can find a way to get Legal Eagle, one of the most famous YouTubers in the world, on there.
That's my favorite weed strain down in the city.
Did you out yourself?
Legal Eagle?
Did you out yourself, or have you mentioned your name on the podcast before?
Oh, guys, my name is Devin.
Bleep it out.
Nice to meet you. Listen, Devin's a
and he wears guyliner.
My name is Devin, and I wear guyliner, and I have known more females named Devin than males, but that's perfectly okay. I can live with. I have a feminine voice that's super high pitched. When I EQ it, I gotta actually put a little bass in it, so it sounds a little bit, so it can be a little bit more like boy,
Boy.
Who cares? It's all. Listen. If I can accept my voice the way it sounds, any of you out there in podcast land can accept yourself exactly the way you are. Okay, just you take your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. Okay, that's what you got to do. All right, or you can take your weaknesses and turn it into a weekly podcast. Why not? Joe Rogan did it. He's an idiot, and he puts his idiocy everywhere every week. I'm just saying, if he can do it, you can. Dude's a total fucking bonehead. Anyway, so with that said,
I was going to start talking about King James, but then I realized it was going to go off on a tangent.
Well, King James is literally a bonehead because he's dead as a fucking doornail and rotting in the 7th level of hell. So, and that's awesome. I don't even believe in hell, but he's there. Because that's the way the universe works. It's mentally, if we dream it, it's created. That's what Sandman taught me. Okay?
I accept this.
There's a hell with King James in it. Okay? Fuck King James. All right, guys. For real this time.
Yeah.
For real.
Happy New
We're
Year.
done. We're stopped. It's over. Have a good New Year. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
See you
Peace
next year,
out.
guys.
Fuck money. Fuck bitches get money. Disregard females acquire currency. So I'm not kidding, by the way. I always interpreted that song, fuck bitches, get money. I always interpreted that as like disregard women, like fuck bitches, like fuck going to the store because it's too cold outside. It didn't even occur to me that he was actually referring to coitus. I'm like, oh yeah, wait, it's Lil Wayne. Of course, that's what he's talking about. So yes,
That's
disregard
fair.
females acquire currency.
I felt that when Lil
right.
Wayne said "pussy money weed."
Thanks, Weezy. Gave me words to live by, Weez.
I have sex, drugs, money, and murder stuck in my head now.
It's like it's
Oh god.
next to Wheezy, like Mozart and Paul McCartney and
Jesus
Freddie Mercury,
Christ.
they ain't got shit on Wheezy.
You're going to hell for that.
Just fade out on this.
Bohemian Rhapsody sounds like a preschool crayon poem next to Wheezy. I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love in my mind. Next to that shit, like fucking nah, man. Drop the World. Next to that, Bohemian Rhapsody sounds like something a 10-year-old wrote. And there it is, the stupidest thing that I've said all year, and I've said a lot of really stupid things this year. Oh my god!
What a blessed day.
Oh damn it! You know what I should have said? I should have said next to Wheezy, Bohemian Rhapsody sounds like Joe Rogan wrote it and featured King James.
Damn it. Oh my gosh. Starting it off strong. Well, ending it strong, I guess.
No, it's got to fade out to Auld Lang Syne.
Right, that's what it's got to do. Is it's got to fade out. Just have on the video. Just have a long black fade that takes all year. You know, if they start watching it at 11 o'clock on December 31st, like it won't be over until well into 2023. It's just getting darker and darker and darker.
Thanks for ringing in the new year with me,
Yeah.
guys.